morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. So happy to see you here. You could have been anywhere else. So good morning, Dan. Thank you for tuning in. I am Coach Deborah D. Smith of Build Your Best Life. You know, it's all about actions, your words, your steps, your gestures, your posture, your facial expressions, your voice tone, what you write, and the movement of your eyes all speak volumes and are your actions. What your actions say to others is crucial. So always make sure that you stop before you act. Amen. All right. Please come on in here, like, share. If you've never turned on your notifications, turn on your notifications so you will know each and every time we go live here on Build Your Best Life. Make sure that you comment during the segment. If you have questions, you can put those in as well, but make sure that you share this segment with someone. And if you could do me an extra favor and subscribe to my YouTube page as well. And then you can get to that if you go to YouTube and just type in Build Your Best Life. You'll see my page. So please subscribe. Thank you so very much. Well, excuse me. Our theme for September, can you believe it's September already? Is grow opportunities and launch success. And it's all about goals. And as I explained on Thursday, you know, now is a good time to talk about those goals. It's not ever a bad time, but right now we have a lot of changes that are going on with our students moving from elementary to middle school, from middle school to high school, from high school, they're either going to start working, attending college, attending a trade school, going into the military. And so this is a great opportunity to set those goals, make sure your goals are appropriate for where you're trying to go. Take that time to meditate, get that quiet time to make sure that you know what your purpose is and you're following your purpose. So it's just a great time to talk about those goals. Good morning, Alvita. Good morning, TC. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but good morning. Thank you all for tuning in. Well, especially for those of you who have ever worked in corporate America, you're going to corporate America for the first time, while you're thinking about it. This morning, I'm going to be talking about the glass ceiling, And it's like you get in a place and you are, what can I do? Where can I go? How can I succeed? Because it just seems like you can't take any forward movement. So a glass ceiling is like that invisible barrier that keeps you a person from going to that next phase or different position that you desire. And so it's called a glass ceiling, and believe me, it is a real thing. You know, a lot of times we talk about things and it's like, what are they talking about? No, I don't understand. Believe me, a lot of this glass ceiling, many of you will have an opportunity to witness it in real time if you travel out or phase into corporate America. And it's usually has to do with some type of discrimination or a bias. And some examples that I can give you is age. Now, a lot of people think that once a person reaches a certain age, they don't have the mental capacity or the creative juices to do what a younger person can do in a particular position, which we all know is not true. Race has a lot to do with it. I can't say it's getting better, but being a minority or whatever, that is always been a stigma. I'm going to come back and give you an example of that one. Your gender. There are some males that think that certain positions are better utilized if there is a male in place in that position. And as a woman, I can truly say that I know that that is not true. Women have the same skills and talents that males have, so there is no difference there. Disabilities. So people want to keep a person that has a disability out of the certain positions. And then social behaviors. I'm going to go ahead and give you an example about a social behavior. There was a gentleman, very, very, very smart, uh, great in math, statistics, all of that. They were in management. So then the next position, and this is not a person of color, but the next position would have been on the VP level. But because this person, they used to say that he was rude, cruel, and socially unacceptable. But they had a habit of biting their nails down, and you could see it quick, what we call it quick, but bite them down to your fingers. And then oftentimes they would stick their hands down inside their pants and they were really, really loud. Well, no one wanted them to be a VP. It did not matter how smart they were, never made it because that barrier, that glass ceiling was there keeping them out. And so I know that it's true. Good morning, Franco. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning, Peggy. Thank you for tuning in. And I said I was going to go back to the race of the minority piece, and I personally witnessed that one uh, back when I started at my company. They were just getting into what the making companies uh, hire certain races or minorities or whatever. So it was getting into the companies where you had some departments, they had no minorities in their areas. They stated they would not allow any minorities in their areas. And so, but the company, because the federal changes, were required to. Well, I didn't know that part of it, but I was in a department and I no longer wanted to be in that department because of some issues. And I had gone to HR and stated, I wanted to stay at the company, but I wanted to be in a different area. So they placed me in this department that had stated they did not want any minorities in their department. They had gotten away with it so far because they did have someone of a different culture. However, they were not African American, but they were not going to hire any African Americans. And no matter what I did, they would try to find fault with it. I would have to answer the phone for my boss. He wouldn't tell me he wasn't coming in. I wouldn't know where he was. I would be answering the phone. Good morning. This is so and so's office. How may I help you? And they asked to speak to them. Oh, they're not in right now, but I will have them to give you a call as soon as they get in. And this was going for a while. And it was a lady. She was pretty nice, and she would every now and then she told me, he's not coming in today. He's on vacation this week. So he wouldn't tell me, but they tried and tried and tried everything they could. He's going to get rid of this person. He's going to show the world that they don't have a right to be in corporate America. We don't want them in this department. Uh, I did, yeah, it got to a point where, if a person does something really, really well, you cannot keep finding reasons to hold them back, hold them back. So I did eventually get a promotion in there. And then I got to the level after some years where if you had that position, you would get an office. We had to enlarge our area. And so I was going to the restroom and I passed by some of the people from my department that were already in management and they were looking at the new space. And a lady that came to be a very dear friend, a good friend of mine, she called me over and said, "Come here." And so I went over, but when I got there, it got quiet and nobody was saying anything. Everybody's just standing there. So I eventually went on to the restroom. So she told me later that, well, the reason why I called you over was because we were selecting offices and I had selected the office by the window, is what my friend was saying to me. She said, I selected the one by the window, and they had said, were you gonna let a coon have an office larger than yours? Because the remaining office was bigger. So it was this stuff like that. But they continued to try to put that barrier over me. But God, what God wants to happen, other people cannot hold up. And so eventually I went from the person that they didn't want there, and those persons that tried to block my way ended up on the outside of the company. And I ended up in senior management as a senior director before I retired. So I know for a fact that those barriers are put in place, but there are things that you can do. So don't feel like that barrier is there. I can't do anything. So I'm going to either have to just sit in this one position or I'm going to have to go somewhere else. That's not the case. So I'm going to try to give you a couple of, excuse me, tidbits this morning that will help you if you are in that situation or you find yourself in the situation as you go forward. And I don't recall if I said good morning, Peggy. If I did not, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. So, the first thing that you need to do to handle this glass ceiling is to identify that the barrier does exist. Because, those people that are in place, excuse me, that don't want that woman to move up, that does not want that person with a disability to move up, that does not want that older person to move up. They're going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, he promoted this person because they have the most experience. Their skills are better. They've been here longer. They're always going to find it an excuse and tell you that it does not exist. So it's up to you to identify, yes, Barry is there. It does exist. Not in my mind. So one thing you can do, you don't allow others to tell you, oh, but that's how we always have done that. Oh, that's the way we do it. Oh, there's no problem. You don't have the opportunity. We have never had anyone to say that before. You're just mistaken. You don't allow people to tell you that. So that's why you need to do your due diligence. You don't allow people to make you think, oh, well, maybe I was wrong. No. If you're thinking it 9 times out of 10, you are correct. So you do what you need to do to identify that. So, exactly what are you seeing? Are you applying for positions and you have the same expertise as another person? You've been there longer, you've gotten great reviews, but the position always goes to someone else. And you look, that person is either younger than you, that person is a male, that person doesn't quite look like you. What is it that keeps you under that glass barrier each and every time. Identify it. That is so very important. We sometimes get complacent and we say, well, if God wants me to have it, I'll get it. Well, that's true. However, God helps those that what? Help themselves. Sometimes you got to do some work too. You gotta help him out. He's a busy fella. We put so much on him, but you can do some things as well to assist yourself in getting out of this situation to move forward. If you know you deserve it, if you got to find a way to break through. It can be done. I did it. So the first thing again is to identify that the barrier does exist. It is not in your mind. The second thing you want to do is take action. Yes, you got to take action. Remember, action is all about action. So what kind of actions are you going to take? One, you're going to document any examples. The one that I just gave, you applied for a position, you had the skills needed, you had been in place longer, you know of some, you know for a fact that a person uh, is not um, rated the same as you are. You are above them when it comes to performance. We have a way of knowing those things. And that person was promoted over you time and time again. Write it down. Write the date, the time, and the specifics. Okay? You can document. Mm, that is like gospel. When you get ready to go to HR, whomever you're gonna go to, you got it in black and white. And then you will have to answer to each one of those things. The second one, speak up. We have a tendency to just sit. You watch it happen. You talk to your friends who can't do anything. You talk to your family who can't do anything, but you just sit. You got to speak up. You can wait till your performance review time. I wouldn't wait. I would go in. I need to speak with you. Do you have some time, or can you put some time on your calendar? I've been here for X number of months, X number of years. These are my skills. This is what I'm always doing to develop myself. I applied for 3 different positions. Each one of those, I made sure that I met the qualifications. My performance reviews are above average or outstanding in basically each area. My work ethics are excellent. I come to work, I show up, I do my work, I meet timelines. But each and every time someone else has been given the position, been given the position over me. And I, really need to understand. So if there's something that I'm not doing, that I can work on that. But based on what I know, I'm not sure why those individuals were promoted over me. And then people get nervous in their seat and they get to and on. And because first of all, they're not looking for you to come to them and say anything. Listen what they have to say. Oh, well, uh, I have to go back. I can't recall off the top of my head, what those people had that you didn't have or whatever. But, I know in each and every single time it was something. So I have to go back and look at my notes and I'll get back with you. Okay, I really appreciate you getting back with me. So, if you made a mistake, you can let me know. Or if there's something I need to work on, I need to know that as well. Smile. And you can be patient. And, you can mention it to them again. Have you had an opportunity to look into that situation that I discussed with you? If they act like they're not going to do it, what do you do? Do you forget about it? No. You move up the ladder. And that's what you continue to do till you get the big dog. And if big dog don't want to do anything, and when I talk about that, you got uh, your manager, your direct uh, supervisor, you have lower management, middle management, higher management. If you need to go to VP, you can go to VP. VP doesn't do anything, you can go to HR. But when you do, when you go, that's why it's very important for you to take action and do some things, because you want to make sure that, when you ruffle the feathers, that you have what it takes to smooth them down, because you can ensure that you have the necessary tenure, you have the qualifications, you have any certifications that's needed for the position. If there's a degree required, you have it. Whatever they ask for, you have it. Whatever you need, you got it. All right. So you want to make sure that you got your and I better not use that word. You want to make sure that you are equipped, you are ready. And if they put you in a position today, you be ready to go, because you have everything that's necessary. Right? So again, number one, what are we doing? We are taking action. My apologies. We are we are identifying that there is a barrier. We are, secondly, taking action. Okay, then number three is the organization. Because they are the ones that are responsible. There are certain laws in place that people should not discriminate because of age, race, gender, disabilities, any of that stuff. And, there are just laws in place. And so people shouldn't do that. That's the reason why people now, they can sit and look at your resume and kind of try to figure out a ballpark, figure out how old you are, but they can't even ask you anymore how old you are. So, but let's talk about the organization. So now this could be, and some of you may be thinking, well, how does this apply to our young people? Because again, they're going into colleges, military, different things, and trying to get into fraternities, sororities. You got some fraternities, and I want everybody up in there. So this applies to everyone. So whether it's a fraternity, an employer, whoever has established the barrier that's in place, they need to acknowledge the mistake. Now they can call it whatever they want to, but they need to acknowledge that yes, they're based on what we are seeing as far as your qualifications, your work ethics. There is no reason why you were not qualified for either of these positions. None of the candidates had anything that you did not have. And maybe, the person that's there now, they weren't there before, or you've had to go to HR, whatever. They cannot go back and, kick those people out and give you those positions. But they need to recognize and acknowledge that, yes, that was wrong. We're going to make, we're going to correct it going forward. That will never happen again. Even to get, well, you don't even have to go to HR. There may be ways that they can compensate you in some type of way. I know this, we don't have a particular position that you apply for available at this time. However, we do have this position that has similar requirements the level is a little higher than the job that you applied for, if you do meet the qualifications are, you may be interested in that position. I'm not gonna put you in a position where you have to make that decision right now. You can sleep over it, take a couple days or whatever, and come back and let us know. We won't be interviewing or anything or put forward on that position until you get back with us. But that is a position that you are qualified for and eligible for. So we need people like that position. You know, it does not correct all past mistakes, but it is something new that will show that we acknowledge the mistake. So that's the thing. If they don't have practices, and there's, like I say, these are things that have been passed down to the federal government. So there are no reasons why they shouldn't have something in place, but it may be a smaller company, company that has not been in business for a long time, and let's say they didn't know, they didn't understand, or whatever. But they don't have something in place to ensure that this does not happen in the future. They need to get it done like yesterday, you know. And you can tell them, well, I'm so, I'm not only speaking up for myself, but I'm speaking up for every other person that this has happened to or could happen to in the future, and you really need to have guidelines in place that this doesn't happen, because wouldn't be, beneficial to you if somehow this got reported to the federal government. So you're not threatening them, but you're very friendly, kindly saying to them, if you don't do something, it could get back to the government that, hey, this is what you have been doing. And then they will be in a lot of trouble. So the company needs to step up. And I already said this one before, but the restitution, is offering you something. So that will be great on their part if they know that they have been wrong and they try to, excuse me, do something that will, it can never make up for what they've done in the past, because look at all you've left on the table. You have not been able to use the skills that you have. You've given up money that was really, you were really deserving of. And the only, I guess, positive that you can take from the whole situation is everything happens in God's timing. So this may have happened to you, and you were the right person to make sure that it doesn't happen to anybody. Identify it, to actually organizations do something. And then again, we're going to go back to you. This is very, now you've been heard, they've made changes, giving you a you can earn the position and put you where you need to be, through that glass ceiling. We work hard. We work hard. Yes, but when you get up there, don't get arrogant or anything like that. Ensure that if you move beyond that glass ceiling, that you don't cause anyone to regret their decision. And it's something we needed to do. We should have done. We were wrong. But see, that's why I didn't want to promote them. Look at them. Every time you go to their desk, they're never at their desk. Where are they? They don't have that many meetings. The report that they were supposed to turn in last week, still haven't returned it in. See, you can't, some people, you can't give them a break. You don't want them to say that about you. If anything, you want to show them, hey, see what you were missing out on? My name is Sarah. I'm false. I do everything because you're not good. You're missing out on my quality. That's what you need to do. So make sure that you follow good work habits, you have outstanding work ethics, that you communicate precisely. You know, someone come and ask you, "Where's the report in the marketing aspect?" "Oh, here it is." That's not how you answer. You know, we had a lot of details and we were getting a lot of input from different areas on that. Report is actually not due until the middle of next week, and we are above, we are ahead of schedule on that. I'm waiting on one other person to tweak something that I sent back. I'm gonna review that before I leave today, and you should have it on your desk no later than close of business tomorrow. But I think you will be satisfied with the work that everyone has done. That's how you want to respond. You know, everything that can be answered in a yes, no, or a date given, that's not how you do it. You know, when you want to show people that you are the right person to be in an important position, you communicate concisely and fully. You don't leave any doubts of that's the right person in that job. I love it, you know. So you want to do that. And then as always do your best, but do it intentionally and consistently. All right? Do it intentionally and consistently. And you know, when you do that, you form habits. So you're going to have a habit of doing the right thing. But that's the thing. You see a problem, you need to identify it, you follow through, and look at the problem, and then you should feel good and know that you performing at 100%. Perform an opportunity, never get an opportunity. If you given an opportunity, you should. Thank you for that opportunity. So these are some ways to do that. People that we can do that. Oh, for this has helped someone today. You know someone and you know, I'm oh, he's talking like that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna tell you to check this out. Let me share. I know it's someone that is going through this because it happens all the time. The government puts things in place that people always try to find ways around so that around doing right. Do what they do. So please share and help someone else. That's all. Please make sure that you visit my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org. That's www.buildyourbestlife.org. You can find out more about my platform. You can find out more about me, our organization, what we're doing, our calendar of events. You can read the blog that we put out each and every Monday. You can also check out the services that we offer, which is coaching, consultations, speaking, webinar speaking. As well, you can get an autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. It's an awesome book that will assist our young people, educators, pastors, mentors, the community, but it will help you. And it will also help you to help someone else to be there for them. It makes a great gift. Uh, Christmas time is coming up. It's an opportunity to begin shopping. If you can get your autographed copy, you can get it quickly if you have the books in stock. And if you prefer the Kindle version, which many people do, you can go to Amazon.com and get your Kindle version. Again, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that you will join us on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Build Your Best Life Talks. Uh, Tuesday we are going to have Linda Wright Patrick, a teacher of Thomas, and she and I are going to talk about enjoy what you please remember that as you travel on your way to do better things, there will be distractions, rough terrain, influences, all types that will try to stop you. Don't let any of those negative aspects of your journey stop you. Keep going, keep going, and doing the best that you can do to do better, to build your best. Remember, living your best life is is that's not a slogan. It's our community. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. Tune in on Tuesday. See you again. Have a great rest